Hey friends, this is the Mrs. Wolfie from our Half Acre Homestead, and now I'm cleaning up my freezer, and any meat over 6 months old, I'm canning it to save it. These are pork chops that I thawed out in the fridge overnight. I discarded any that may look dubious. Everything smells good, they've been rinsed. Here's my jars, my rings, my lids, my salt, my canner with the recommended amount of water, which is approximately 3 liters, and about 2 ounces of white vinegar to keep the jars from clouding. Let's get started. Okay friends, remember I'm filming with my phone and a very tricky tripod. So, okay, now I have my clean damp paper towel. It's been soaked in vinegar. Now, I'm going to say, do not can any meat that may look off color or have any odd smell, okay? So, we're going to put 2 pork chops in to each jar. It's not going to give me the right amount of headspace. I'm going to cut that chop in half and drop it in. There we go. 2.5 chops per pint. These are boneless loin chops. If they had bone in, the actual time would be shorter because bone in meats take less time to can. And into the canner, that goes. Now I have some chicken parts. And these chicken parts are bone in, which means they're going to can for about the same amount of time as a pint of boneless chicken would be. So I'm just going to pack as many of these pieces of chicken in the jar as I can. I think I got room for one other drumstick. Yes, I do. Now, for some reason, the headspace for chicken has changed to 1.25 inches. But we're not putting liquid in here, so right there's one. And I got a pint here. I'm going to put these 2 pieces of chicken in like so. And that's a perfect fit. Alrighty. That's going in the can. Is a pint of chicken, 2, 4, 6 pints of boneless pork, and a quart of bone-in chicken. Now I'm going to put the lid on here and I'm going to go and double check all my time so I can give you the exact proper time for canning this. But in the meantime, we're going to put our lid on here. I've scrubbed my whole lid and given my ring a good wash and soak. I'll put my lid on. And as soon as that begins, as soon as this pops down and this begins to vent a pressurized steady stream of steam, we will set the timer for 10 minutes. When that happens, we'll be back. I'm going to go check my times. I have turned my timer on. This is now venting a steady stream and will do so for the next 10 minutes. Then I'm going to put the weight on. And as soon as it gives me a vigorous jiggle, I'm going to set my timer for 75 minutes. Bone-in chicken, raw packed, is 75 minutes a quart. Raw pack, solid meat, no bone, in the pints is also 75 minutes. Now, if I was packing a quart of raw chicken, no bones, I would have to change the time to longer. But because it's bone-in chicken and pints of whole meat, boneless meat, then it's only going to be for 75 minutes. An hour and 15 minutes. Okay, my timer has gone off. And I'm going to... Now remember, do not skip the venting process. This pushes the air out of the canner so that when the weight goes on, it creates a vacuum. It's really important. So I'm going to put my 10-pound weight on here. And as soon as that gives me a vigorous jiggle, I'm going to set my timer for 75 minutes or an hour and 15 minutes. Vigorous jiggle, and I'm going to turn this down just a little bit so it's not too angry at me. Just between medium and maximum, and now I'm going to set my timer for an hour and 15 minutes. There we go. Okay, you don't open this canner until the button is down. You don't rapid cool it, you don't put it in cold water, you don't jiggle the weight, you do not try and lift the lid off. You leave the canner closed until you can put your hands on the side of it comfortably. All right? Letting it cool naturally is part of the canning process. Pork chops. Dirty chicken. Dirty chicken. That's it. This is the Mrs. Wolfie from our half-acre homestead saying, if you've got meat in your freezer that's getting up there in age, can it up to save it. Take care. God bless.